This is the story of why I will never buy an EVO X.
Good morning, guys. What is going on? I hope you guys are having a good day, or at least a better day than I'm having. Boys, let me tell you, I have had a rough week with this car. Now, for those of you guys who do not know, this is my little brother's EVO X.
If you guys know anything about EVO X's, doing their clutches absolutely suck.
So backtrack a couple of weeks, my little brother's clutch was slipping a lot. And, you know, he's my little bro. I'm gonna do his clutch for him. He doesn't really know how to work on cars all that well, and I mean, neither do I, but I know a little bit more than him. I've changed clutches before, and I said, hey, you know what? I got you, little bro. I'll do it for you. That was mistake number one, and that started everything. So we ordered a clutch, we started doing the clutch, and for about the past week, I gave this car a few hours of my day, almost every single day, and look at that, boys. The transmission is still in the freaking car. So for the life of me, I can't get this freaking transmission out, man. The transmission is all disconnected. It's literally just kind of sitting on the subframe, and I have gotten the subframe disconnected. It's just not coming out.
So to do a clutch on an EVO X, you have to disconnect and remove anything and absolutely everything. We got like literally everything disconnected. To get this trans out, you have to take out 3 of the 4 motor mounts, which is just wild.
This is my first time ever doing a clutch on a transmission that sits like right by the engine bay. Usually every clutch we've done has been like underneath the car over here. It was completely separate from the motor. I so much would rather prefer doing a clutch on a rear wheel drive car than a front wheel / 4-wheel drive car ever again, or at least just the way the transmission sits.
Literally like everything is disconnected. This damn trans just will not drop.
Shout out to the homie 2 more. He came through and tried to help me. My man is an actual certified mechanic. He works on trucks for a living. He came through, tried to help me with this trans, and he couldn't even get it out. This thing is just insane. Now granted, he couldn't do it because we didn't have a lift. I guarantee you, if we had a lift, he would have been able to do it 1, 2, 3, no problem.
So let me try my best to show you guys the issue real quick. So basically our issue is that we can't pull the trans out. Now in a normal car, all you do is pull the transmission back from the motor and then bring it down. But since this transmission basically sits on the freaking subframe, even though we kind of disconnected the subframe from this side and have it hanging, every time we try to move the trans back this way, it's still on the subframe. We have to like drop it out at a specific angle and shimmy it out. And honestly, I don't know if we're just weak, but we just can't do it.
I hit up like 3 of my mechanic friends, and all of them said, yo, to do a clutch on an EVO X without a lift is just something that they don't even want to think about because it is absolutely terrible. And that is a lesson I learned the hard way. Before you take on a job that you might think is easy, ask people that have already done that job how easy or difficult it is, and that'll give you some perspective on whether you should do it or not. I learned the hard way, and I will no longer be ever doing anything transmission related to an EVO X.
I probably wouldn't buy one either just because they're not my taste. Subarus are way simpler to work on. You have more room in the engine bay. You have more room to do everything. Everything's so tight and compact on here. You don't have to take off a freaking subframe just to do a clutch. I already know that's gonna piss so many people off.
So long story short, I have given up on this clutch. I'm not doing it anymore. It's taken up too much time in my life. I don't want to give it any more time. If it's this hard dropping the transmission out of the car, I don't even want to think about how difficult it's going to be trying to put it back in. It's going to take me way too long. It's just not worth the time. I'd rather just take it to a shop, and that's what we're probably going to do. This obviously has to be trailered, so we're going to slap it kind of back together. Not fully back together. We're going to kind of slap it back together just so that it is rolling. Once it's rolling, I'm trying to figure out my truck and trailer situation.
Go ahead, start putting this bad boy back together so that way we can put it on the ground.
What's crazy is that no matter how hard anything got, we always somehow managed to do it in my garage. We always fixed everything that we broke on the cars, or anything from transmission stuff to painting cars to molding wide bodies and just everything. We always did everything in this garage, and this is the first thing that I have given up on because this thing has just kicked my ass, man.
And the EVO is finally on the ground.
That was probably like 10 seconds for you guys, but that was like an hour for me. But surprisingly, it was a lot easier to put everything back together than it was taking it out, which is really weird, unusual.
But then again, I really didn't put it all back together. I left a lot of the parts in the trunk. Then I got the clutch, bolts all labeled up in Ziploc bags in the passenger seat.
Whoever's gonna work on this car is gonna kill me because one of those bags just has a bunch of bolts that were laying around that I don't know exactly where they go. My bad organization skills is gonna make somebody mad.
When we have to load this thing onto a trailer, the easiest thing is probably gonna just be reversing the trailer onto the driveway and pushing the EVO out and just using the momentum from like the slope in the driveway to put the EVO onto the trailer. Trying to push this big beast onto a trailer is gonna be a huge pain in the ass. So what we're gonna do is just pull the 350 into the driveway.
Now it is time to fix the 350. My house is literally just the house of broken cars. We got the EVO broken. The Skyline it's working, but it's still leaking oil. I still have to figure out where it's leaking oil from. But the 350 needs to get fixed ASAP.
It's just been sitting. It hasn't been driven for like weeks now because the brakes on this thing are leaking. I don't know what happened. Safety first, kids.
So just to give you guys some perspective here, last time this car was running was when that car was black. It's been a hot minute, boys.
Yo, this thing is gross. I feel like it definitely wasn't this dirty like a month ago when we drove it. Did it just like get dirty from sitting? Okay, so brake fluid. Last time I was in this car, I put brake fluid in here and, oh, would you look at that? That's interesting. Okay, so there's still brake fluid in here, but I remember I filled it more than max. So I guess it must be leaking every time we push down on the brakes. I mean, that's what makes sense, I think.
Could you come in the garage real quick? I just need you to press the brakes down on the 350. Since I can't do it alone, I asked my little brother to come outside. He's gonna press on the brakes and I'm gonna go underneath the car and I'm gonna see where it's leaking from. I'm not gonna lie, your boy here is a little lazy. I don't wanna put the whole car up on jack stands just to figure out like, oh, I didn't need to do that. I only need to lift it from the driver's side or something. So while he's pressing down on the brakes, I'm gonna look underneath the car, try to figure out where the leak's coming from. So I may have found the issue. I know it's a little hard to see, but there's a puddle right there. We have a leak coming from the passenger side. This is why being lazy sometimes helps. I didn't have to waste my time just putting this whole car on jack stands.
First, I thought maybe the brake caliper is just bad and it's leaking, but upon further inspection, it looks like it could possibly just be that the nut isn't tight.
The issue is found. Luckily this time, boys, it was something really simple. All we have to do is disconnect the brake line, get 2 new washers. I believe that they're crush washers. It's a specific washer. Definitely have to replace the washers because I think the washers are probably just worn out or something like that. We found where the brake fluid's leaking from, so huge dub. I'm gonna run out to the store real quick, get new washers for this thing. Hopefully this thing is back on the road. There's the reason why I'm rushing it right now is because we got a huge mod for this car. Like a huge mod. And I can't tell you guys what it is because Amanda will kill me, but we got a huge mod for this car. We can't fit it in any of the cars we have, so I literally have to take off this part off of the car, go drive to High Intake Performance, install it there, and then bring it back because the part that Amanda got for this car, boys, it is freaking huge. I'm not gonna say what it is. You guys can go ahead and just guess. I wanna know, what are you guys guessing? Leave your guesses down in the comments. What do you think is the new huge mod for the Z? Time to take my millionth trip to AutoZone this year.
Got it, right? You can angle? There you go, bro. You're good. That was your first time ever driving right-hand drive?
Yeah,
First time.
especially a GTR.
How'd you like it? Did you like it?
Bro, the fuck, I can't even explain it, bro. Oh
Yo, my
God.
man was just boosting the whole
The
freaking
turbo
way.
flooders, bro. Honestly, you guys should all get an R32, or even just get in one and just drive it.
Or just delete your blow-off valve and then just everywhere you
We
go.
don't tell them that.
I wish I took the camera with me because like my man was just like having so much fun just boosting around.
So last time I checked, I was still leaking a little bit of oil and coolant, but we were boosting like the entire way over here and the turbo's still not smoking.
Like it's weird before, I mean not the turbo, the downpipe. There was some oil dripping onto the downpipe and then the downpipe would just start smoking up and it would start burning. I smell something burning. It could be just this, the fiberglass dust that's over here, but the good thing is that the downpipe isn't smoking, so that's really good. But I do know that I am leaking coolant because I'm leaking coolant from right over here. I'm leaking coolant from right there. You can literally see the coolant leaking, dude. So I deleted the coolant reservoir tank like an idiot. I thought I didn't need it, but I do need it. Need to get a new coolant reservoir tank, and I'm also leaking coolant from the turbo drain line.
GTR was fun though, I'm glad two more enjoyed it, but now it is time to fix the 350. I already went ahead to AutoZone, picked up brake hose washers. Let's go ahead, change out the brake hose washers in the 350, bleed the brakes, and then it should be good to go.
Pump the brakes a little bit. You're pumping them? Yeah. All right. We're not leaking anymore, boys. Yeah, I gotta bleed the brakes out, but we're not leaking anymore, so this car is safe to drive again.
fixed the brake caliper issue thing. We changed out the washers, bled all the brakes all around. I think we should be good to go. If we don't have any brakes and die, we die. But you know, we gotta send it to figure it out. Yo, you know what's scary? The clutch pedal is sticking. The clutch pedal. I don't know if I caught that on camera, but I flicked it up with my foot. I was like, what? If this car breaks, this part of the video is not making it into the video because
only us will know about it.
I'm just gonna tell Amanda like, babe, I was just trying to get you gas and that shit just went. I have no idea what happened. Alright, we got brakes, we're good.
Oh, I thought I was about to die.
I'm like super stoked that the 350 is running again. I haven't even told Amanda yet, but she's gonna be super excited. It's raining for the next 2 days, so I didn't bother washing the cars, but right after the rain goes away, we have to go ahead. The Skyline and the 350Z both need a wash desperately. Quick little update on the cars. The 350 is now fixed. The brake issue is fixed. Now all we have left is the oil gallery gaskets. If you guys don't know, oil gallery gaskets are just a common thing that go out on 350Z HRs, and that is why we have low oil pressure in this thing. At idle, it has low oil pressure, so we have to change out the oil gallery gaskets soon. As soon as we have some free time, we have to get this thing cracked open and do that. With these Skylines, the Skyline is almost perfect. Now, the one thing I have left to do is I still have to figure out fitment to make fitment perfect. Once I get the fitment all sorted out, I need to get an alignment, and it is also leaking oil and a little bit of coolant. I know exactly where it's leaking coolant from. It's leaking coolant from the turbo drain, the drain to the block. I might have to just change out the washers. I don't know. Still don't know where the oil's leaking from. So once this car gets out of the garage, then we're gonna go ahead, pull this sucker in, and then figure out where this oil leak is coming from. Other than that though, the GTR is doing much better than it ever has. And now the EVO. Like I said, the EVO I have totally given up on. We are taking it to a shop. The shop I'm taking it to doesn't really have any space outside of it, so they don't want to keep this thing outside. They want to keep it inside, and they're not going to have any space inside until about next week. So sometime next week, we are going to go ahead to U-Haul, rent the trailer, get this thing slapped on, and this thing is going to be out. But other than the transmission, the EVO is good. So, I just love looking at this car from this angle. I'm super tired. It's been a long day. It's been a fun day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are liking more videos. I'm trying my best to push out more videos every single week, but I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.